Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with our Crafty Playdate, and I am in the midst of Christmas Club. So today we are making this Christmas card. We are using a retired ribbon that I did not realize was no longer available. I like it because it's kind of lacy looking. I used it a lot at Halloween as spider webs, but I think it also looks really festive for fall. But we definitely have some other ribbons that would be great here that are white with some silver, and I will list those in the description below so that you can swap out the ribbon that I've used. But we're also using something that's kind of cool. It is an online exclusive, so it's not in our catalog. All these things are in our annual catalog. They're not from the holiday catalog. But we are using this embossing folder, and that is actually an online exclusive. It comes in a set of 3. This one looks a little bit like poinsettia flowers. Let's see, like that. Can you see that? And this one is a super subtle one. And today we are using this one that looks like big golf ball dimples. So it's in the set of 3 and online only. All right, so be sure that you check that out. But you can see it's really a big bump. But I thought it would be super fun looking a little bit Christmassy, a little snow-like. So let's get started. We are going to start with a normal white card base. So here's our normal white card base. I've already folded it. And then we are going to be using Misty Moonlight. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a frog. So this is just a standard panel. So this is a normal card base, and this card panel is 4 by 5 1/4. So easy measurement to do. I'm not going to stick it on right away because I do have to add the ribbon. Leave your ribbon on the spool until you have measured how to go about putting this on. It goes under everything here, so I can put it on first. So I'm just going to tape it back here like this. Good. And then I'm going to run it over and decide where to cut it. Maybe right there. And as you can see, I haven't wasted anything. Everything is still on the spool. So be sure that you do that as opposed to cutting it first. If you cut it first, you're always going to end up with it a little bit too long, which wastes your ribbon, or a little bit too short, which makes you crazy. That will make you crazy trying to stretch it out and make it fit. I'm going to add an extra little piece of tape there. Okay, so that is this, and I can go ahead and just glue that on. I am just using my liquid adhesive for the first couple parts here. No dimensionals on this. So that's just liquid glue. I love my Tombow. I used fine tip glue in another card in our Christmas club, and it works great and it has its purpose. For really fine tip stuff, it's perfect, but it takes a little bit longer to dry, and that, my friends, makes me a little crazy. All right, so this right here, this piece is just a 3 by 3 square that I have gone ahead and embossed already. But I will tell you, if you're going to cut the 3 by 3 square, cut it out of a 12 by 12 piece of paper. Don't use your 8.5 by 11 to cut 3 by 3 squares. You'll end up with quite a bit of waste. But if you do it out of a 12 by 12, you end up with no waste. So be sure that that's what you're using it for then. That is going to get liquid glue also. So let's just add a little glue there. And I'm going to put it right about here. I'm doing it a little off to the one side. All right. So far, so good. Now, these are the next 2 parts. This is Misty Moonlight also, and it is 2 1/4 by 1 1/2. And this piece here is 2 by 1 1/4. So this is exactly 1/4 of an inch smaller. And normally when I do that, I would frame it and just do it in the middle like that, but I thought it could be a little nice to just offset it a little bit and add some sparkles. So let's do that. All right, first let's go ahead and stamp. So the stamp that I'm using today, it's in the annual catalog. It's called the Brightest Glow. It is this one. I always try to do 1 card in my Christmas club. So my Christmas club, we make what do we make? We make 4 each of 3 different card styles. So you make 12 in a month, and then by the end of Christmas season, so by Thanksgiving, right before Thanksgiving, you have 60 handmade cards because we meet for 5 months, once a month, and make 12 cards each time. You end up with 60 handmade cards. It's great. But I always try to do at least one style in there that has kind of a wintry theme. You know, it looks a little snowy or something like that. The beauty of this one is if you have a Jewish friend and you would like to send them a card, you really could do this one and it would be fine. It's not so Christmassy that it won't really work. Okay, I'm using the edges of my dimensionals here because I can, and you should use every little bit you've got of that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stick this on here. And again, instead of just centering it straight on like I normally would, I'm going all the way up to the top like that and leaving this space down here. And that's where I'm going to add my diamonds. I'm going to use my take your pick tool. And since I'm doing 3 in a row, I usually find it best to stick it to my take your pick tool. No. Do 1, then I'm going to do my far one. And now it's very easy for me to just figure out where the center is. If I try to do 1, 2, 3 in a row, I end up with them off center, a little too close on one side, a little too far on the other. And this way, I think it's much, much easier to get it centered. All right, so this is also going to be up on, put that over there. This is also going to be up on dimensionals. I put my dimensionals before here. I'm not going to put them in the same place. That way, if it gets smushed a little in the mail, it's not too tall to mail. Does that make sense? All right, so I'm just going to cut off 2 here. And I'm going to, they're here, so I'm probably just going to do here. Oh my goodness, I stuck them to my fingers. All right, there and there. I'm going to stick that right there. And this card is done. I hope you liked that. It's not a hard card. It's a pretty quick card. It's a really easy format. It's just a good idea every once in a while to just set things a little bit differently. And you can give your card a whole new look by doing that. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you see something here you like, be sure that you look in the description below. And if you would like a card kit, it would involve all the parts that you see, enough to make 4 cards. It's actually for the whole series, so it would be 12 cards for each of 3 different designs. It would have everything that you need to make them except the stamp. So you would need your own stamp set, but you could just put a Merry Christmas in there, or, you know, Let It Snow or something would be great. All right. Thank you for stopping by. Come back and see me soon. I've got another video on its way for you. Bye-bye.